The long-beloved The Legend of Zelda series lends itself to endless replays, speed runs, and unique gameplay challenges, especially Breath of the Wild, but playing every single main series Zelda game in 1 year would be considered a major test of strength by even the most committed fans. The games considered to be mainline Zelda games offer hundreds of hours of gameplay, and the Zelda spin-offs, remakes, and non-canon games have made major contributions to the series' 36-year history as well. Fortunately, Nintendo's official Zelda timeline provided fans with a neat roster of mainline games that comprised the entire saga from start to finish, and 3 more titles have joined Zelda canon since the timeline's release in 2011. While the Zelda series offers plenty of opportunities for adventure, certain titles have become difficult to access in recent years. Currently, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, and Breath of the Wild are the only Zelda games available on Nintendo Switch. Many of the series' older installments are only officially available on specific consoles that are no longer in production, and players will still need a Game Boy Color, GameCube, Nintendo DS, and Nintendo 3DS to complete the rest of the series. As of the release of Breath of the Wild, there are a total of 19 games in the main canon of the Zelda franchise. It takes approximately 360 hours to beat the main story of every game, and up to 750 hours to achieve 100% completion. Playing through all of them in just 1 year would pose a Ganon-sized challenge, but it's possible for a dedicated fan to complete every game in the Zelda series by setting aside an average of around 10 to 15 hours each week. How to play every Zelda game in order of release date. Here is every Zelda in the order they released, alongside their original platform and approximately how long they'll take to finish. Week 1, The Legend of Zelda, 1986, NES, 10 hours. Week 2, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, 1987, NES, 10 hours. Weeks 3 to 4, A Link to the Past, 1991, SNES, 15 to 20 hours. Weeks 5 to 6, Link's Awakening, 1993, Game Boy, 15 to 20 hours. Weeks 7 to 10, Ocarina of Time, 1998, N64, 25–40 hours. Weeks 11 to 13, Majora's Mask, 2000, N64, 5 to 35 hours. Weeks 14 to 16, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, 2001, Game Boy Color, 30 to 40 hours combined. Week 17, Four Swords, 2002, Game Boy Advance, 3 to 6 hours. Weeks 18 to 21, The Wind Waker, 2002, GameCube, 25–65 hours. Week 22, Four Swords Adventures, 2004, GameCube, 4 to 20 hours. Weeks 23 to 24, The Minish Cap, 2004, Game Boy Advance, 15 to 30 hours. Weeks 25 to 28, Twilight Princess, 2006, GameCube and Wii, 35 to 60 hours. Weeks 29 to 30, Phantom Hourglass, 2007, DS, 15 to 30 hours. Weeks 31 to 32, Spirit Tracks, 2009, DS, 20 to 30 hours. Weeks 33 to 38, Skyward Sword, 2011, Wii, 40 to 60 hours. Weeks 39 to 40, A Link Between Worlds, 2013, 3DS, 15 to 25 hours. Week 41 to 42, Triforce Heroes, 2015, 3DS, 15 to 30 hours. Weeks 43 to 52, Breath of the Wild, 2017, Switch and Wii U, 50 to 200 plus hours. How to play every Zelda game in timeline order, Unified Timeline, Weeks 1 to 12. The timeline of the Zelda universe has been intensely debated throughout the franchise's history, but Nintendo's official timeline published in Hyrule Historia provides a relatively cohesive outline of the story so far. While fans have been quick to spot potential contradictions and inconsistencies, the timeline is a great roadmap for experiencing the canon saga of Hyrule as it occurred in universe. The story starts with Skyward Sword at the beginning of Zelda's timeline, then branches into 3 separate timelines depending on the outcome of Link's battle with Ganon at the end of Ocarina of Time. weeks 1 to 5, Skyward Sword, Wii, 40 to 60 hours, weeks 6 to 7, The Minish Cap, Game Boy Advance, 15 to 30 hours, week 8, Four Swords, Game Boy Advance, 3 to 6 hours, weeks 9 to 12, Ocarina of Time, N64, 25–40 hours, How to Play Every Zelda Game in Timeline Order, The Defeated Hero Timeline, weeks 13 to 25. The original 1986 Legend of Zelda takes place towards the end of the Darkest Zelda timeline, which begins with the Hero of Time's defeat at the end of Ocarina of Time. In this branch, Ganondorf obtains all three pieces of the Triforce and transforms into the Demon King, laying waste to Hyrule until Zelda and the Seven Sages can imprison him in the Sacred Realm. Hyrule's power wanes in the absence of its Triforce, and Ganon's malice transforms the once legendary Sacred Realm into Zelda's demonic Dark World. Weeks 13 to 14, A Link to the Past, SNES, 15 to 20 hours, weeks 15 to 17, Oracle of Seasons, Ages, Game Boy Color, 30 to 40 hours, weeks 18 to 19, Link's Awakening, Game Boy, 15 to 20 hours, weeks 20 to 21, A Link Between Worlds, 3DS, 15 to 25 hours, weeks 22 to 23, Triforce Heroes, 3DS, 15 to 30 hours, week 24, The Legend of Zelda, NES, 10 hours, week 25, Zelda 2, NES, 10 hours, How to Play Every Zelda Game in Timeline Order, The Child Era Timeline, weeks 26 to 34. At the end of Ocarina of Time, Zelda sends Link back to his original time in the Child Era, allowing him to reunite with her in the courtyard of Hyrule Castle and warn her about the fate of their land. She entrusts the Ocarina of Time to him before he embarks on his own distant journey, ensuring that the Sacred Realm would remain safely sealed. While the Defeated Hero timeline is technically the worst-case scenario for Hyrule, the games in the Child Era timeline feature some of the darkest tones and themes in the Zelda series. Weeks 26 to 28, Majora's Mask, N64, 25–35 hours, weeks 29 to 33, Twilight Princess, GameCube and Wii, 35 to 60 hours, week 34, Four Swords Adventures, GameCube, 4 to 20 hours, How to Play Every Zelda Game in Timeline Order, The Adult Era Timeline, weeks 35 to 42. After Link returns to his original era at the end of Ocarina of Time, the Zelda who remains in the Adult Era returns the Master Sword to its pedestal and seals the Door of Time, preventing further passage between their eras. However, as the Triforce of Courage rests with the Ocarina's Hero of Time in the Child Era, the future Hyrule in which Ganon was defeated is left without its sacred power. When Ganondorf is eventually resurrected again, no hero arises to face him. Hyrule's king enlists the help of the gods, who seal Ganondorf away by flooding the entire land under the Great Sea. Weeks 35 to 38, The Wind Waker, GameCube, 25–65 hours, weeks 39 to 40, Phantom Hourglass, DS, 15 to 30 hours, weeks 41 to 42, Spirit Tracks, DS, 20 to 30 hours, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, The End of Everything, weeks 43 to 52. Nintendo has stated that BOTW takes place at the end of the Zelda timeline, which makes it the final game in both the timeline and release date versions of this year-long gaming challenge. However, it was never specified whether BOTW's story occurs at the end of one specific timeline branch, or if the game was meant to bring an end to all three. The upcoming release of Tears of the Kingdom may provide some clarification about BOTW and the canon timeline as a whole, but fans will have at least a year's worth of The Legend of Zelda games to keep them occupied until then.